And you.
What's up? And you, and you, and you, and you, and welcome to
And welcome.
another lovely Mondays for the mind. It's getting
I'm
chilly
here.
out there.
It is really cold today, bro. Let me tell you. I basically work with the same temperature as outside and it all day long.
It's getting cold, man.
It's that
It's getting
time.
cold. It's that time. It's that time.
It's my least favorite time when it gets that cold.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not a fan of it this year like I have been in the past. Not that I was ever really a fan of it per se. I just feel like I have thicker skin to it. And then this year, I don't know. I'm just like, oh, fuck the cold. Everything to do with it. But that's okay.
I want to
It's to be
stay away
expected.
from it. I want to stay away from it. I want to hide from it.
What did this week bring you? Any Christmas movies? You watch any Christmas movies this week?
I did. What did I watch last night? I don't know what movie I watched, what it was called, but it had Danny DeVito was in it,
Oh,
and
was
dude
it
from
Deck the
Godzilla.
Halls?
Yes,
Yeah, Deck the Halls.
yes, I was watching that last night. That was pretty good. That
Nice.
was pretty good.
I only watched one this week myself. I watched it this morning. I watched Merry Little Batman on Amazon
I
Prime.
watched.
It was decent. It was a fun little holiday flick.
Yeah, it wasn't bad at all. It was pretty cool. Little Home Alone vibes, kind of
Yeah,
like I
nice little
messed it.
father son story. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, that was good. I guess I did watch Santa Jaws since the last time we had been on.
Yeah, that's right.
Um, Ho ho ho, you son of a
Son of
fish.
a fish. Yeah, I've been I've been slacking on the Christmas movies myself. I got caught up as what happened. Usually about December comes around, and Phil and I usually catch what we refer to as Star Wars fever, where it always comes around the same time as Christmas. Where it's like maybe I'll watch one Star Wars movie, and then next you know we're like deep in Star Wars for at least like the next month. But not this year. This year hit different
Yeah,
because this year it's been a kaiju Christmas for me. Because
yeah.
I we saw that Godzilla minus one last week, and it was excellent. And Phil's always been like a big Godzilla guy, and there's been a lot of talk about going back and like watching all of them. So we said, "Fuck it, let's do it." There's 37 of those movies, I think, and so we
Wow,
just started from the beginning. I think we're like on the fifth one now. But
that's what's up.
it's been cool, man. It's been a fun ride watching this journey with Godzilla.
The graphics getting better and better and better and better.
Yeah, and
Slowly with that many movies, though. Slowly. But
it's interesting to see how it like changes. Even like just I feel like genre changes up from like one could be like a total kids movie, and one could be like very serious, and then one could be like mostly funny. You know,
yeah.
it's just like they're all over the place. And I kind of jump back and forth between like the new ones and
Mhm.
the like original old school ones, and that was kind of interesting too. Seeing like just how much from the old shit that they pull from for these new movies was kind of interesting. I was like, oh,
That's what's
okay.
up, man. Yeah.
Godzilla gets his ass beat a lot, as I'm finding out. He,
Godzilla.
Phil and I are gonna have to keep a scorecard to see like how he shakes out in these 37 movies because
Yeah.
so far in those first five, it's the odds are not in his favor. He's been getting his ass beat. Let me tell you.
I did purchase Krampus the other night at Walmart,
There,
so there is that.
there you go. I still want to get my hands on the naughty cut of
Yeah.
Krampus. That would be nice. That'd be nice.
Yeah, it's a movie I felt like I needed to have own.
Absolutely.
These
It's a
days and age.
traditional. You know, I that's one I'm definitely gonna watch before the year is out,
Yeah.
before the Christmas season's done.
Well, especially like this day and age, man. You never know when it's gonna just vanish and be gone, so
Right.
you might as well watch it while you can.
Yeah. Exactly.
Own it forever. The
So
true the true on demand.
right. On demand is my shelf back there. On the shelf. Uh So yeah, the description box today claims we're diving back into some mental health talk a little bit.
Yeah.
I was telling old Sheppy here. that I had myself a little epiphany the other day. Been feeling like, I just wanted to get back to the magic of life that I felt like I haven't been feeling lately. No matter what that was, I just wasn't getting a lot of enjoyment out of things that I typically enjoy, like watching movies. I love watching movies, and I think it's been a culmination of things. Part of it being like the pandemic and just like the isolation there and everything, and all of that becoming more and more and more reliant on like technology, while also like closing myself off to the world, didn't help anything. Um, but I kept thinking, I was like, there was a time like when I was dealing with all this anxiety and the seizures and all that stuff around the end of 2017, beginning of 2018, where I had like a really good stretch, like mentally and emotionally. I'd really figured some stuff out. I had like dove into my spirituality and stuff around that time. So the other day I was like thinking on it because I just deleted YouTube off my phone this past week, and
Mhm.
I just got rid of Snapchat as well. And as I've been doing that, it's like it's so crazy until you do it. Like you don't realize how much time these things take out of your day to day life, like because it's so casual, like just it's just scrolling, it's just aimless. But when it's not there, then you go to reach for your phone and you're like, oh well, there's nothing there. I'm on my phone, so I might as well just put my phone down and go do some other shit. It's awesome, isn't it? It absolutely is, and that was the secret of like that era where I was like feeling my best because I was living at a place that didn't have Wi-Fi. It's like I had internet, I had I could get on the internet and stuff on like a tablet and shit, but we didn't have Wi-Fi like that. We had movies. I worked at a library. I read a lot of books around that time. Spent a lot of time outside. Went hiking a lot, and there really is just something to like reconnecting with the universe by disconnecting from the technology. Like, and I definitely don't want to go on a big like technology is the devil, rant.
It can
I think
be, you
there's
know?
pros and cons. Like, there's
Yeah,
definitely
it
like
can be.
when used as a tool, it's great, but um, making it our whole life. So it's like again, my thing is people don't watch enough fucking movies. Like how many Jurassic Parks do we need for motherfuckers to quit? Trying to make dinosaurs happen, like the AI shit. Like how many
Yeah,
movies do we
hey,
need
with
to tell people?
AI.
And it's kind of the same thing where it's like how many movies like fucking like Wally and like like these post-apocalyptic kind of deals where it's like, or these like future movies where it's like, oh, in the future everybody's lazy as fuck and does nothing and is just like so involved with technology. See, and that's one of those things where it's like I get that,
I do.
and I can agree with it to a point, but I've also found that sometimes that's just not true. It's something we tell ourselves that, oh, I need this social media account for my business, and sometimes you'll find that your business might thrive without it, just through word of mouth and meeting people. I think it's different for every sort of business. I mean, I think for you and I, we've found that just physically meeting people has been our best avenue.
Yeah.
Whereas social media has done nothing for us, other than like keep us in touch with these people. But then it comes down to like do it old school, like text, call, email, like, it'll get the job done.
It
Um,
will, man. You can get by
yeah.
without it. I mean, even, this whole year for me has been more about what you're saying, but on a side of like looking at the music, you know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
being like, do we keep, and it's one of those things where, there was a time in life where, you try to push it hard, but like those days have long since came for me, and I'm getting old and shit. So it's like, but the music can still, you can still make music, you can still put it out, you can still put it up. I don't need to try to drum up 2 months of hype for a
Right.
release, you know what I'm saying? It'll still be there. Might be a nice little surprise for somebody to go find.
Yeah. See, there you go. Yeah. And it's
And
like,
well, and one thing I did want to say too is I've found the more social media I get rid of,
mhm.
the more fucking stupid little games I get on my phone because I'm like, oh, I got space,
Yeah.
so I'm like, yeah, I'll get
Well,
that
see,
game.
you just
I
put
swap.
another time suck on your phone.
Yeah.
That's why I've allowed myself. I got one phone game, and even then, like I don't really play it all the time. But I do find myself going to it. Like I like that it has like a time limit on certain things, or it's like I can only play it so much. So that's a nice little like in between. But I was gonna say, like, there's a little paradox there too, where it's like it might feel like it's helping, but you don't know the stress that it's actually causing you, and that stress is what gets in the way of you being able to perform like 100%. And so, like, I know when I'm more plugged into like doing our social media and stuff,
Yeah,
like I'm stressing about that, and I'm not giving 100% to the creative side of things because I'm like worried about that kind of shit. Or
I
like,
like that.
I was telling you, part of my reason for deleting YouTube and Snapchat also had this too, but like with YouTube, it was more of a choice where like as a movie geek and just as a geek in general, like nowadays you can go on YouTube and watch anybody talk about any of your interests, for hours on end. So it's like I'd watch a movie for 2 3 hours, and then I'd watch these people like talk about it for another like 6 hours in the day of just hearing these like people talk about a movie, and I still like enjoy that to a degree. But like, prime example is being like a Marvel or a Star Wars fan, and like just how that's developed over the years of like being a fan of something. And the fans have become so toxic and like just bratty to a point where they're like, if it doesn't go my way, then the movie was awful. And it's like, not necessarily, like you just take a step back. Just because the movie wasn't what you wanted it to be, the movie that you wrote in your head, like, and I just think even as a creative, that gets in the way, um,
I felt that a lot with the
and it
Doctor
hurts my
Strange movie.
enjoyment of this shit, like it hurts my enjoyment because all I see is people just bitching and moaning and
Right,
complaining about
right.
movies. Like the Marvels was the most recent one. Everybody's like, "Oh, this is just such a piece of shit," and it's like, no, it wasn't what you wanted it to be. The Flash was another example. It wasn't what you wanted it to be. It wasn't an awful movie. Like the movie was fine, but
See, I think my favorite example, like I said, was Doctor Strange too, of that.
yeah,
Of, people just hyping it up, man. They're like, "Oh, the multiverse, they're gonna be showing these people, and we're gonna have these," and it's like, you didn't get that, you know what I'm saying? And then so it was shit. Oh, they didn't do as much as they could. We didn't see as many Earths as we could.
I how did I
And it's
know
like,
this was the comment was incoming? I could feel it. I could feel it coming. I'm like, I bet we're about to get hit with it, but they were awful.
what
Haters,
was awful?
all of it. I'm
I
sure.
haven't
I
seen a
didn't think
lot of
so.
them.
I enjoyed them
I
personally,
mean,
but whatever.
I think the Flash was really good. It actually had
I
some
did
heart.
too.
It had some heart to it. It had some soul behind it, Whereas it did,
All of them.
Marvel
See,
Marvel has became a bit of a copy and paste. I felt like sometimes.
yeah. But see, that right there is what I'm talking about. Is as a collective on the internet, that's all that ever gets talked about is, oh, it's copy and paste. Marvel's like this anymore. And that's all I ever fucking hear people talk about. And it's like, I can't enjoy them personally as a fan anymore because this is all I ever hear. Whereas, like, I go to the movies and I enjoyed it. I had a good time. And that's all that should matter is that this movie entertained me. Not that it met my expectations or anything like that. Like, none of that shit, whether it's Marvel, Star Wars, whatever the fuck, like, and
Well, we've
so,
and we've had this conversation before, me and you personally on this, and I mean that's why I've fallen off of Marvel months ago. I didn't need YouTube opinions or nothing. I formed my own
right.
opinion, and I was like, man, it just feels like all these movies are just like, setting up here's what's next, here's what's next, here's what next. I said, I feel like the first ones was like, here's a strew of movies, and then one of them just connects all these together, and you're like, oh shit, you know.
Right.
So that's why, I love, but I don't talk jazz to people that go watch them. I'm not like, just because I lost interest means you need to lose
Yeah.
interest, type of thing. It's like what you like.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's just what I'm saying. Like, just that collective hate
Yeah.
and negativity. And it's just like, you don't realize how much you're being exposed to it sometimes when you're just like, but I enjoy this. Like, I enjoy listening to people talk about this. But like, after a while, it does become one of those things where it's like, man, this is really sucking the life out of something for me. And I don't even realize it. But being able to just step back and just watch what I want to watch and just enjoy whatever and not listen to what however, it's like it's still fun to talk. I'm part of the problem. It's still fun to talk to people like about movies and their opinions, and like that's still like a good time for me. But the constant barrage of negativity, because like Dave and I have talked about this before, where like, you go on YouTube and you're always going to find the 10 worst things about this, or like, just like the titles themselves are like inherently negative things to draw you in. And sure as shit, we fall for it, and we do dive in, and then we're
I
just
feel that.
exposing ourselves to more and more and more
Well, and
negativity.
I'd wonder how many of these, like, big name people actually enjoy the movie, but the collective thought amongst their peers is that it sucks, so they have to go
Right.
on there and be like, "Oh, it could have been better, it wasn't that good." When
Yeah.
in all reality, they were like, "Yeah, that was a fine movie, nothing wrong with it."
Yeah, yeah, and
And
that's
I
fine.
mean, I
One of
feel
the
like that's
best
what you
things I ever saw was, I think it was when, maybe the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie came out around, like, 2014, and somebody reviewed it, and they said, "This movie was just okay, and that's okay." And it was this whole thing talking about how nowadays people are like, "No, a movie has to either be really bad or really good, there's no in between." It's like, "No, it's okay to be a mediocre movie in the middle, like, it's okay to just be okay."
I vibe with that, though.
Yeah. Then you're down the rabbit hole. Exactly.
You lost down
Just
the rabbit holes very easily on the YouTubes as well. So, like, if that is your app of choice,
mhm,
it is a time sucker. See, I on my phone, I have my screen time monitored on it, you know what I'm
mhm.
saying? So I can get that, like, Sunday report of, how much screen usage I got going down. And mine
Yeah,
actually was shot down this week. It said I was down like 26% or something like that. I was like, "Hell yeah."
yeah. But yeah, just in the very small steps of like um deleting things. I mean, I know long ago when I first deleted my Facebook, like just the amount of time I suddenly had on my hands was like crazy. It's like for as much time people spend saying, "Oh, I don't have the time to do this. I don't have the time to do that." It's like, my man, yes, you do. It's like, yes, you do. If you just step away from the cell phone and the internet for like just a little bit, you know, it makes a huge difference. And then I noticed again, like this week, deleting YouTube. Um, I could feel, I've read about like when it comes to like learning self discipline, like when you tell yourself no to something, take notice of those urges, that like those moments where you're like, oh, you know what, I think I want to do this. And it's like, take note of how many times that happens. And with YouTube, I was like, shit, I've reached for my phone like 5, 6, 7, 8 times today. Like, hey, I'm gonna just get on here and watch some videos because I got downtime. Um, and it was never like, oh fuck, I gotta re-download it. Like now, I still watch YouTube. I just get on the computer or get on the TV, but I'm not as likely to sit here and just spend hours and hours and hours and hours. Like
I
it
feel
feels
that.
like how it used to feel. Like it's like it means something. It's a little more meaningful. Like how I was kind of talking about how with our move coming up, uh, removing ourselves from the conveniences of
Mhm.
living in town. Um, it means more, like growing up, I had to drive like into town to go see a movie, or to go on a big grocery trip, or to do this or to do that, to go out to eat. And I feel like in a way like we're getting that back, you know what I mean, like because right now it's meaningless. We do it all the fucking time,
Yeah.
it's nothing, but then once you're removed from those conveniences, then it's special again. And
No, I feel
that's
you.
kind of how I feel about like with YouTube. If I'm going to sit down and watch YouTube, now I am sitting down to watch YouTube. I'm not piling it on and just like, yeah, because I feel like that's the big thing nowadays is it's just more and more and more, and everything's always going all the time, just nonstop. Like we're also overloaded, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
that we gotta cut some cords, man.
I feel that, man. Like I said, I feel that. I feel like it's needed at times. And I feel like, I don't know, to me, it's something that came with age. The older I grew up, the more less and less all that kind of stuff interests
Mhm.
me. If a brand new social media app popped up right now, I probably wouldn't get it. I'd probably be like, that's cool. Have fun with that. Like, TikTok, when it popped around, I
Right.
got on it for a few and then I was like, this ain't me. And that's been that. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm. I've even found with like on the capitalism side of things, I cut the Marvel cord. It happens. It happens. I'm loyal as fuck. I'm gonna ride this train until either me or Marvel goes down first. But I found like another thing, like I said, on the capitalism side of things, is like Spotify. You know, for you lucky ducks that pay for Spotify Premium, I don't. So it's like, that's usually what I use and stuff. And it's like you're vibing, and then there's ads, and usually they're the same ads, and they
Kevin
just
Hart.
fucking just like it's just a constant like,
Hey,
you're
what's up? It's
getting
Kevin Hart.
you're getting hit over the head with these things. Same with like watching movies on streaming sometimes. Like a lot of these Godzilla movies I've been watching on Max, but I've got Max with ads. So it's like every so
Mhm.
often this movie that's only an
Bro,
hour
I'm
and 20
saying, and
minutes
some
is
of
like
the
stopping, and it's like
some of the
this is a
movies
bad
they're
place
on
to
there,
stop.
they be putting ads on ads on
Yes,
ads, dude.
exactly. And so even like when I'm listening to music and then like an ad comes, I'm like, fuck, and now I'm like constantly being, and again, it's that like pressure of like everything being fed into you all at once, being like, hey, buy, buy, buy. Oh, you need to go eat this and you need to do this. And, you know, that's an old argument. We've all heard that one. But like, so what I started doing, like, because I moved my record player into this room, so I could start using it more often. So I listen to vinyls and CDs, and that way it's like I can enjoy it. You know what I mean? Like I can turn it on, and I am listening to this thing from start to finish. And there's something peaceful about that. Like that. There's no outside interference. Same with putting on a movie that I own. Like I can put that thing in, and the only interference is me hitting that pause button. Like there are no ads and shit.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Facebook, yeah, no, I feel that it can be a really good video
Yeah.
editor, sort of ad, especially for these short little videos that social media is becoming.
Can't beat a good vinyl. You really can't.
Can't. My brother got into collecting vinyls really big. He's real proud of his little collection he's got. It's a big collection. I'm just talking jazz. It's a big collection. He's got a nice one. But yeah, I mean that's why I started buying a lot more of the DVDs. If I saw them, I liked them. Like I said, I bought Krampus. I saw this in the $5 bin. I was like, yo, I'm gonna get this. I think it's a
Record player,
big
you can snag a record player pretty cheap, I feel like these days, up at the old Wally World.
Walmart's got everything, man. They even have like shit to make music with. Nowadays, I
Yeah,
find myself yeah, I feel that.
yeah, that's a good way to combat it.
I feel that too.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's become a lot of like
absolutely.
memes, jokes.
Well, and I even said that very, very early on in the social media game. Like even before I got off Facebook, I noticed a shift in people where people did become more negative, and it was a thing where it's like whether they were intending to be negative or not, like they were using it as a coping mechanism, because it's like, hey, we all love memes, they're relatable, but then like people would start taking these memes and using those, like self-deprecating humor went through the roof. Like people would use that all the time, and it's like that became a big problem for me. I hated that. I still hate that when people do that, because it's like, oh well, that's the meme. I'm gonna make fun of myself and all that stuff. It's like, no, homie, you gotta love yourself. We gotta flip the script. Like you're not a joke. You're not a meme. Like you know, are worthy. You can't be talking down on yourself like that. The memes have gotten out of control. Yeah, yeah, but I agree. It does. I mean, again, the power is always in the people's hands. We also watched Dumb Money this week about the GameStop stocks
Yeah,
incident that happened over it altered perception too. Yes, I agree. I agree with the whole. You think somebody lives a life that you get jealous of, and that's not even how they live and stuff like that. But that movie Dumb Money was a perfect example of like people taking the power back, and they
right.
didn't even, like I was telling you, they didn't even mean to do most of the shit that they did. They were just trying to make a little moolah, but it became like this thing. The people came together and they won because they quit, listening to the
Yeah,
man, to put it
yeah. No,
simply.
they did their own
you
fucking
know.
thing. I mean, the man was quick to come shut it down, though.
Absolutely, the man's always going to try to step in and stop us, but
Say, whoa, buddy, you're not supposed to be the ones making this.
like right now, like when it comes to the movies that come out in theaters, like we vote with our money, like what comes to theaters is all on us. And that's why we see all these sequels and all this shit, and like uh lately it's been a little nice to see that like Japan's been killing it here in the United States this month because their new like Studio Ghibli movie that came out is the number one movie in America, and Godzilla minus one has been killing it like every week that it's been out so far. It's one of the best reviewed movies of the year and stuff like that, and it's like making people like clamor for like more of shit. It's like, okay, give us something a little different. Even though it's Godzilla and we have seen it a billion times and it is a sequel and franchise, but I digress. It's still just like it's not a superhero movie. It's
Right.
not. And even like I think I've talked on this before, like I fell into this thing where yeah, I love Marvel and stuff, but like I found myself just watching like Marvel and Star Wars and just like the Disney machines
You almost
movies,
have
which is
to
like
if
which is like
that's
fine, like I enjoy them, but as a person who my entire life I've watched everything under the sun, and artsy movies, blockbuster movies, shitty movies, it doesn't matter. I watch them all. And then I found myself just watching this much, and I feel like again it had an effect on my creativity and my life, because like that's the way I expanded my mind and my heart and my life was through film, by watching movies about people that aren't like me and places that aren't like here, and educating myself on different cultures and stuff through art.
I
And
think
then
it's
it's just
about
like the same
hitting
shit all the time.
hitting these phases, you know what I'm saying? Um, because, I've done that with music my whole life, but I do that with movies and stuff too. Like there will be a super, Marvel will eventually put out a movie that I'll watch and it'll get me like right back like I used to
Mhm,
feel and back into it, and I'll watch all the movies I've missed and catch myself
mhm.
back up and be like, hell yeah. But then I'll
Right.
probably go on to something else and do the same thing. You know what? Like, because I do that with music, there'll be an artist
Mhm,
that randomly one day will pop into my head and I'll start listening to them. And then it's like I just go in hard on it, and then I probably don't listen to him for who knows. Could be
mhm.
months, could be years.
Yeah. Yeah. And like I said, it's all I just feel like there's like an importance to having, like, you can definitely have your own taste, but there's definitely an importance I feel like to trying things out, like having a little bit more of an eclectic taste, just I feel like there's definitely a benefit there. Marvel movies and those types. That I'm not gonna lie, that second Suicide Squad movie that James Gunn made
It's pretty
might
good.
be one of my favorite movies of all time. It's slowly worked its way up, like
Yeah.
my because it's like one of the movies that I can consistently watch over and over and over again, and just sit down and just watch it, and because it's just fucking such a fun time. I have
Yeah.
such a good time with it every time that I watch it. I love it. That's pure popcorn entertainment. I love it.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? He did good. He did good.
First one, not so much, but
First one,
I digress.
hubba hubba hubba.
But yeah, because sometimes you get people where it's like they're so used to just watching, they're like, "This is what I watch. This is what I like." Or like same with music. This is what I listen to. This is what I like. And then like you try to show them something different, they're like, "This is weird. I hate this." This kind of shit. It's like, but if you get that open mind going, you could find some cool shit that you never knew you liked.
Yeah,
So
I feel that.
yeah, that happens too. Like you were saying, like you watch the one and then you're like, well, now I'm gonna go back, and that's kind of how I am with Star Wars. Like I'll dip out for a long time, and then I'll come back and catch up because one like got me hyped for it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I feel
nice.
you.
It's nice. And I don't know, man. Like I said, there's just too much these days. There's too much
Yeah, it's just
to
too much. Period.
try to divide all your time into liking this, liking that, liking this, liking that. That it's like one of those, like Loki when it was on. Okay, I ain't gonna watch it week to week. I already know this. Too much going down. So once I finally saw people being like, "Oh, that finale was wild," okay, I can sit down and watch the whole thing. Cool. All right,
Yeah,
I can figure out a day to do that.
Yeah. There's also something like, as far as like just sitting down and enjoying things, like there's that paradox of choice, when you have every streaming service and then you also have like 2,000 movies on your shelf, it's like, fuck, what do I want to watch? I'm going to spend more time trying to figure something out to watch and then eventually give up because it's such a daunting task to just pick something out. Whereas, okay, this is what I have. I'll watch this. It's like I don't have like all these different. It's like, oh, but what am I missing out on over here? Or should I check out this app? Or so like lately, as the apps have kind of been like disappearing for, I'm like, I'm not concerned about getting them back. I don't give a fuck what's happening on Netflix. If something's that good, I'll go watch it with somebody that has Netflix. Or again, it's that whole like it becomes special again, right? Like I don't have Netflix, so it's not like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna watch. I'll just throw it on. I get to make an event. I get to go spend time with somebody and sit down and watch it and make it a thing, and it becomes special again.
Well, I've
Like
heard of
that
people.
limited.
I've heard of people just kind of bouncing around to the different apps month to month, you know what I'm saying? Like going, okay, we got
Mhm.
this show we want to watch, we got 2 or 3 shows on Netflix we want to watch. All right, this month let's
Yeah,
get
I
Netflix
feel
and
that.
then cancel it so you only pay for a month and then the next month, oh, we got the Max got all the shows we want to watch. All right, grab Max. We'll watch.
Yeah,
And I
that's a
I
good way to
almost
do it.
I almost guarantee fucking to you here soon they'll go to like annual subscriptions only.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, they're already bundling all of these services back together, and I forget what late night host it might have been Jimmy Fallon or somebody was talking about how they made a joke about how they're all going to make a bundle and come out with it and call it cable, and I was like, at this rate, yes, probably, but yeah, there's something nice to it. Like same with like I'm at this point right now with like how physical media is, where I feel panicked to like snatch up everything. I'm like I have to get everything, and it's like obviously there are more important things in life to be buying than movies and stuff, but there is like this weird part of me that's like, no, I have to have these movies, just in case for historical purposes. It almost like I've taken on that responsibility as a movie collector, as a movie fan, that I'm like, no, I want to keep this alive. Um, but I also have to remind myself again, it's not special when you just buy everything. Like when okay, something came out, I'm gonna buy it at Walmart as soon as it comes out. Like most of that collection is built on the hunt, of like family video sales and pawn shops and garage sales and all that kind of shit, disc replay. Like that's the kind of shit that like hey, you find what you find, and there's something cool in that,
Yeah.
in that hunt. And it's not cool when you just buy it outright. It's like, yeah, like it can still be fun, like okay, I got my physical copy, whatever. But I'm still, I mean, that's fair. That's fair.
It
It's
is
about the
fair.
hunt, man. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, the hunt can be good. I mean, I wouldn't
I mean,
lie if there
I'm not knocking the convenience there. It is nice
I'm
to have the
saying
convenience.
it's not like I haven't went to disc replay looking for a movie a few times and said fuck
Mhm.
it and loaded up on Amazon and ordered it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I mean,
Which happens.
but I find there ain't nothing like having those places though that you can go to still
Mhm.
that you can find that. You can go in there one day randomly and you find that movie that's like, dude, I've been looking for this movie for fucking ever. Like, hell yeah, I'm buying this.
Yeah, like I have had a few moments in life since the pandemic when Family Video, the last standing uh, franchise of video retailers, finally went out of business. Man, I find myself mourning it more than dead relatives sometimes. I'm just like, man, I find myself getting emotional. Like, fuck, like you know what I'd love to do right now? Just go to a video store and walk the fucking aisles and look for a movie. And I can't do it. I can't take my kid to go do those things. I got to travel to the last blockbuster and bumfuck wherever to do that.
Oregon or something, Washington, something
Yeah,
like that.
it's a bummer, but
It is, man, but you never know. These days, you really never know. And especially if these services, like I said, if they keep fucking around, then you really never know because that might, be a market that could reopen, in my opinion. If these
oh,
keep raising,
absolutely.
because in a year or two they're going to raise their prices again. I think Netflix just raised their prices up again. It's like it's coming that they're just going to keep going up, keep going up, keep going up. More ads, more ads.
Pour one out for the video stores. Hell yeah.
I mean, Chase, if we rented you a fucking building, you pretty much could open a video store.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah. But it's funny because I saw an article online not too long ago that's like, "Is physical media having a resurgence?" It's like, bitch, it didn't die. It's still here. Like you just had an article a week ago about, is physical media dying? So there's not even like a transition point. There, it's like it never left, but they're like, oh, it's making a comeback. It never left. It was being phased out, but then somebody was like, wait. This is a bad idea because they're seeing all this streaming shit go sideways, and it's like
I
that's
mean,
why
it's still getting phased out of places though too, though. I believe Best Buy
it is.
stopped
Mhm.
CD sales at the end of the year.
Best Buy quit selling CDs a minute ago. They stopped DVD sales this year. At the end of this year, there will be no more like physical movies to buy at Best Buy, which means I no longer
It's
have a
not, yeah,
reason to go to Best Buy.
I knew it
So
was something. I knew it was something, but
I'm
you
like, great,
know,
now you're a big Radio Shack. Nobody gives a shit.
is Radio Shack still around?
No, that's my point. It's like I can buy your TVs at Walmart, Best Buy. I don't need this shit.
What about Circuit City?
This bitch is gone too. It's gone. It's gone.
I
What was
know
the
it.
other one? I worked at one of them. H. Gregg, gone. Shit's gone.
Sam Goody
I
gone.
don't gone. There's a pattern here in Best Buy. It's not looking good for you. So you might want to start selling music and movies again
That
because
was CDs back in the day. I forget what the other CD store in the mall was called, but I remember the mall had two really good CD stores growing up that you could get up into. Sam Goody was one of them, which they was kind of overpriced all the fucking time. But on the flip side, they did have a lot of those rare, hard to find CDs that you were looking for. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Well, at least I was looking for.
I miss beta
Uh,
rentals.
and we had a little, like I said, we had a little rental store here in town. I remember that growing up.
Hastings, I know about Hastings. I, is that, if I'm not mistaken, like Hastings, like a used video store kind of thing, right? With like or like used media, I think in general. I don't know. I think there was one in Tennessee, if I'm not mistaken.
I've
But
never heard of it. I've never heard of it. I've never ever heard of it. I've just heard of the ones. I forget. I do remember when the one in Tuscola went out of business, though. Their CD store, and they had a lot of good deals. A lot of good deals over there. That was nice.
yeah,
But that was when I was like a teenager, so I don't think that counts for physical media going out.
yeah, man. I don't know. It all makes me sad, but you know,
I mean, it was cool growing up through it. You know what I'm
for
saying?
sure.
When you had a CD that, oh well, this CD has 16 songs on it, it's packed to the max, and then you found out I could burn a CD on a computer that's MP3 that I could put like 100 songs on it.
Yeah, right.
Like
Yeah, yeah.
what?
There are some things where it's like,
That was pretty cool.
yeah,
I miss those days. Those are the days that I miss. You know, the connecting through your phone jack up to the internet and fucking hitting up your LimeWire, your Kazaa
yeah.
or something, and
Shouts out to all the viruses we put on our computers
yeah,
using LimeWire.
sitting there
Yeah,
45 minutes till a song downloaded, and it starts off and then goes into some completely else, and you're like, damn it.
the only one I ever been to was in Texas. Yeah, I think we got one of those in Tennessee, like right before I moved back here, and it was a favorite of mine. I went there quite a bit.
That's pretty dope. This place sounds like it would be pretty cool.
It was definitely right up my alley, so I was pretty
I
stoked.
went to a place not too long ago that had tons of movie posters. Like every movie poster you could probably imagine was up in that bitch. Like every sorts of size you could get in, just
Oh yeah,
everything. There was not a poster that I looked for. Like I wonder if they have this poster that I did not find.
still physical. Um, I I agree. I prefer a physical book in my hand if I'm going to read. However, I did go through a phase where I used the book app on my phone and like read on my phone a lot. But that at the time is just like very convenient to do that. I was like on the go a little bit more. So I didn't mind it then, but I always prefer a physical book. Like
If
some
they
people
had
really dig it that way. Some people really
if
just
they
dig the
had a
tablet.
device that would, like, spurts out a little, book smell, maybe I'd use it.
Right.
But, like, you can't beat the smell of a book.
Right. We need to go on Shark Tank with that one. You just attach it to your Nook or your tablet, and it spits out a
Like,
book
you just
smell every
is it
so
like
often. Every time
like
you click turn page, it just do a little waft.
just makes it feel like the page really turned.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. A book in
Million
4D. It feels like a real book. Just
million
buy a
dollar
real book.
idea right there on Chase and Shep. That is a, hold on, I'm trying to get to it. There it is.
Chase Shep
Chase and
exclusive.
Shep
That's right.
exclusive for everybody.
Shark Tank, we're coming for you. Yes, the book smell. Yes, indeed. Yes,
Right.
indeed. I'm ready to get into a good book. I need to read these comics that I've got from Gela so we can continue our book club. It's been a while since I've just sat down and read anything, so I'm ready. I'm ready. She
Yeah,
always
I
has the
mean,
good picks.
to me right there, that's the living proof right there, man. Comic books are still thriving, still a thing, you know. I bet when cartoons first came out, people thought that was like the death of the comic book, you know.
Yeah,
Why look at still cartoons when you can watch them on TV and see them move, you know what I mean?
right. Yeah.
And this physical media has lasted. So long live the Blu-ray, long live the DVD,
Hell yeah.
long live the CD, the compact disc.
The compact disc. It's a fave of mine. I find myself frustrated all the time that my car doesn't have a CD player. I'm
Yeah.
just like, ugh.
I do have a CD player in my truck. I just never really use it, but
I would use mine all the time because, like I said, it's the ads, man. I'm not trying to listen to all these fucking ads on repeat. And again, I've heard this said a million times before too. But like when it would be a different story if the ads were different and not the same fucking ads like every single time there's an ad break. You know what I mean? It drives you nuts. Something about book smells.
interesting. I could get down with that.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it is because the books are new. I don't know.
I
Why
guarantee
why do
you
you care less about the argument about the books being new? I feel like that's the only thing I could think of, other than the cleaner they use to clean the stores, mixing with the book smell to create Barnes and Noble, you know?
that'd be a TM spray you could get.
Yeah.
You want the Barnes& and Noble flavor, or do
Mm,
you want
no,
the small town library flavor?
we can get it right. What would you like to waft into your it's fake smell. The smell at Barnes and Noble is what you're saying? It's the
What if
fake
what
smell.
if what
They
if they
have air
spray the
fresheners that
books?
are books.
What
They
if they
just light
spray
up
the
book
books?
candles. Gotta spray it with the new book smell. Or the old book smell. They're spraying their new books with the old book smell, and that's what the issue is. I'm gonna go to Barnes and Noble tomorrow in the library just to like walk around, just like sniffing. It's like, sir, we're gonna have to ask you to leave. It's like, no, no, no. I'm conducting. This is important for your
This is
business.
research.
I completely understand what you're saying. The people need to know. I need to report back next Monday.
Where's our live reporter in the field when we need him?
Exactly. This is why we need a correspondent in the field. We send them out to do things.
Although I'm at the Barnes& and Noble now.
They're like an Uber driver that just sits in a parking lot somewhere and awaits our orders. And then we tell them where to go, and then they go while we're on the show, and then we jump over to them whenever they
Gonna
get
need
there.
you at that Barnes& and Nobles, bud.
I will. No need to be embarrassed. We're gonna put this to rest. We're gonna figure out what's going on.
I still
Shady
don't
ass
know if
Barnes and Noble.
I don't know if I completely understand.
That they smell different?
Like, the books themselves or just the building in general?
I'm thinking she's meaning the building.
Because the building, yeah, they're gonna use air freshener. But does Barnes& and Noble smell like books? You know what I'm saying
I
is my
think that's what
question.
she's saying. It doesn't have Maybe I hear what you're saying. Maybe that's not the Barnes and Noble. Like the library is the smell of books, but Barnes and Noble's not the smell of books. It's the smell of something else. Yeah, it's probably that fucking Starbucks that's attached to it. I don't know. Who knows?
I mean, because I feel like, yeah, they clean, they use air freshener. Obviously,
Obviously,
it's
obviously.
gonna have its own smell. Everything has its own smell. You know what I'm saying, though? Like everything does. It just, if you're sitting in your house all day, every day doing your thing, you're not gonna smell. You know what I'm saying?
Although to
It's
take my research
normal.
farther, I might be like, somebody take me to a factory filled with fresh new books. Let me get just a straight new book smell. I don't want a single fucking old book in the building while I do my test. Because every library and like used bookstore I've ever gone to have that smell. And so it could be the oldness of the book. So I'm not convinced on not using that as an argument. So
I
it could be the new
remember
book
when we
smell.
went to the Champagne Library thing or the bookstore in downtown.
Hmm.
It smelled
Oh
nice.
yes, yes, yeah,
It
yeah,
smelled very nice.
yes. It was the smell of books. They have that smell
Do
for
the
sure
books
deep
from
down.
Amazon smell different?
Yeah, they smell like new books. Unless you get a used book. I think there's
Hmm.
something to this new and used smell. I don't know.
Does a book smell better brand new or used? Is my question.
Oh, question of the week.
Because I think brand new, most definitely.
I guess that depends on your preference. That's a hard one to nail down, really.
What if somebody with like really bad breath fell asleep with like the book on their face? They were like laying down reading. And
It's part of that book's history. Oh, god damn. you know, there have been those books. There have been those books at the library that you take them home. They just smell like fucking cigarettes or like. When I worked at Family Video, you'd get the cases that just reek of like cigarettes. They'd have like fucking like bud all crumbled up on it. Somebody used it as a rolling table. It's a different level of book odors. Old comics. Yes. Yeah. So it's, I don't know. There's something there. We're gonna have to take a sniff test. Yeah, my opinion is that the building is spraying a fake book smell air freshener.
okay, that's
Okay.
what I was. Okay,
Okay.
good. Because that's what I was thinking, but then I got confused, being like, or is she just saying like it
This
smells
is
like
artificial book smell.
laundry? Oh, so yeah, so they have a fake book smell.
I feel this way about amusement parks too. That they smell like fake books, or that they have a fake amusement park smell. Because now I've got questions. Please
Now I
elaborate on the
do
amusement
have
park one
questions because the amusement parks I've been to, you're usually smelling like the different food vendors cooking,
or the
you know,
chlorine from the
from the
if
water
it's a
park.
water plant. I've only ever really been to Holiday World, so it's all the amusement park I have to go off of.
I've been all over. Or y-
Been to
or
Dollywood when I was like little.
or are you talking like inside the rides? Like if the ride goes in a little building in the line? Because there
This roller
is
coaster smells like a fake book.
no,
I need to know.
it's not book, but there is a sort of smell that's like
It's vomit.
no,
It's vomit.
it's
It's
not
vomit or
bomb.
tears. I don't know.
No, dude, like I'm saying, there is a sort of smell. It's probably in all reality like hydraulics or something, dealing, but like I feel like like there like the other day, some time ago, I don't know when it was gonna rain, and
Food
the
air
smell of,
freshener gets you to buy that $20 funnel cake.
I
Okay.
think you're just smelling the funnel cake
It could just be the funnel cake.
because other people's
They're just
ordering that
blasting
shit.
the funnel cake smell out of the vents to fill the
But you get like it was raining and stuff, and it's like, man, it smells just like it does, like if you was on like a rugged trail or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So it has like a sort of smell to it, like a
there's like a matrix
musty.
level to this conversation where it's just like, is any of these smells real?
I don't know.
Our correspondent on the street should have been Phil, who doesn't have a sense of smell. That would have made for a real fun bit.
I can't smell.
Send it over to you, Phil. How's it smell? Don't know. All right. Sending
I
it
think
back to you boys.
don't know. I can't smell. Oh,
Don't
great.
know.
Ask somebody else.
Don't know. Ask somebody else, Phil. Sir, how does it smell in here? Excuse me? What, did you fart or something? I can see that going totally south so fast. But I'd watch it. I'd allow
I
it to
would
happen.
watch it too. I would watch it too. I would watch it. I don't know, man.
I gotta go
Like
mainline a book after this. Just get a good sniff to
I thought
satisfy.
about grabbing one and doing it too, being like, "This book smells pretty good here. This is my favorite." What's your favorite
Mine.
book to smell?
This is too new. This is too new. It doesn't even have a smell. It's so new. I mean, I bought it like a while ago, but it still doesn't have like it's not aged like a fine wine. So I don't know.
Somebody randomly just jumps into the stream and we're just sniffing books and talking about.
I wish a scientist conducting research on smells jumped in and said, "Actually, I have all this information right here.
Let me get down. Just
Actually,
pops up. Boop boop.
as a matter of fact, this is the component they use at Barnes and Noble to make their air smell like fake books. Real books, fake smell. Real books, fake smell."
I mean, I feel like these days in where we are at with capitalism, they would try to sell the smell.
Absolutely,
You know what I'm
absolutely.
saying?
If my kaiju Christmas has taught me anything, it's that humans will try to buy and sell whatever. I'm watching these Godzilla movies. The last one we watched was Mothra versus Godzilla. Egg, giant fucking egg washes ashore. People are like, "That's mine. I'll sell it to you. You'll sell it to me. Here's money. Like this is mine now. Who'd you buy it from? You know, sort of thing." And then it's like, "We're gonna turn it into an amusement park. Why would you do that? Money. You're not
Money.
concerned about what's gonna come out of that egg. Fuck it. We'll pay. People can pay us to watch it hatch for all we care." I got y'all to sniff books, and I appreciate. Of course, of course.
You know me? I'll go grab a book to sniff before we're off the air,
I know I got books in there that have
real
that
quick.
smell, that nice. I have like an old hardback copy novelization of Poltergeist. I know it has that old smell.
One of my favorite books off the shelf to smell. Tao Wu.
Ah, yes. I'm grabbing one now too. Perfect. A wave of book smellers. Let it happen. Let it happen. I'm gonna have to borrow that book from you, by the way. I forget that you own a copy. I've been wanting to
I
reread
do.
that book, so I have to
Got you,
snag
brother.
that off of you sometime. Wu Tang, you gotta. It's the Wu way.
It's the Wu way. I got you, dude. Anytime. It smelled good. Hey, this just in. It smelled good.
Oh, perfect, perfect, perfect. Well, I guess it's about that time.
One time for the mind.
One time.
Um, I guess to keep on topic with what we talked about. One time for the mind. Always take care of the mind. It's okay to disconnect in order to reconnect and figure out what's important, what makes you happy, what will get you going through the day. You might be at a crossroads where you're, like Chase is talking, today, or like me, I brought up my music thing. I was at 20 years. I don't know what I want to do. It's okay to disconnect from everything, reconnect with yourself, figure out what you want, and go from there.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more. Yeah, disconnect to reconnect. Everybody will drive that point home. Um, Sometimes take a look at the things that you enjoy. Make sure that those are still bringing you joy and not bringing you stress. And take those moments to live life, like slow down, unplug, slow down, because that's our problem. We're just always just going so fast anymore, and slowing down and just kind of taking it all in. Take a moment, hang out with your friends, have a laugh, watch a movie, sniff a book. Just do that.
Sniff
Just be
a
in that
book.
moment and do that activity. Be there for it entirely. So that's my one time for the mind.
Sniff a book.
Sniff a book. Hashtag sniff a book. I feel like this episode's full of great hashtags. Hashtag sniff a book. Hashtag kaiju Christmas.
I think
So
that's gonna be our campaign. We're gonna get picked up for like a reading program or something, and it'll
I've
be
always
that.
said if we ever got the chance to do Library of Madness, that I wanted to do a marketing campaign where we come out with like posters for the show that's like those read posters that you used to see in libraries and shit with celebrities. It'd just be like us and like the characters from the show and stuff. Those need
Yeah.
to make a resurgence. So sniff a book.
If I could have any sort of a book based on us, you remember those baller ass books that had like the sounds on the side? So you'd go
Yeah,
by and it'd tell you, "Oh, press this sound would be happening in the story." I'd want one like
yeah,
that. I'd want one like
hell yeah.
that.
Never crossed my mind, but I can get down on that.
Just a sheesh button. Sheesh,
Yeah. And then Shep said,
sheesh.
press the book, little Johnny." Sheesh.
That'd be great.
I love it.
We'll have to get the
Press the
pro
book, and it's just like this demonic, like, reading from the Book of the Dead.
Gonna have to get the prototype going on
And
this,
after they
maybe.
read from the book, they heard, and it's just like just demonic shrieks and just the sounds of
I
hell.
will eat your soul. Oh shit. What
All
was
right,
that?
Johnny, that's all the time we have. Good night. You have a good night. Sleep well.
Uh,
Okay. Oh, yeah.
okay.
Jason Shep's bedtime stories.
Got him.
Someday.
We
Coming
got him
someday.
coming someday. Maybe a holiday season. Who knows?
There you go.
Maybe not. All
That's all
right,
I
bro.
got. Unless
That's
anybody
all
wants to
I
spring
got.
anything else on us.
I actually listened to some of these before we did it so I can play us out
So we know how to play us out tonight. Okay,
a soothing
perfect,
a soothing little ending here.
perfect.
So
Peace,
yeah,
ladies and gentlemen. Have a fantastic night. We'll catch you next Monday.
we'll see you same time, same place. Smooches and deuces.
Look like this is an ending song. Your Monday's gone. Chase and Shep are two till the next one's on. Look like this is an ending song. Your Monday's gone. Chase and Shep are two till the next one's on. Look like this is